Research at Centrum. Morning, Harendra. We've been asking this one big question. Has the dawn finally come in for the markets? The black, gloomy month of October is over. Do you feel that from now onwards things will get better?
It should, because there are two things. One is that, the primary concern in this quarter, raw materials and interest costs are looking to go down from next quarter. But yes, demand front should be a concern. But I think in terms of price, we are there at the bottom from here on, and gradual up move should begin. But yes, I would say gradual.
Harendra, morning. Prashant also joining in. What about, all that the RBI has done, the government is indicating in terms of helping out the corporate sector in terms of this tight liquidity sort of a crunch. You think all that is also going to play out in the coming days and weeks?
Yeah, it is, but I think at this moment it's only a liquidity issue. I don't think whether we are fully addressing the growth situation here yet, but I think that will only pan out probably in the next 2 to 3 months. So at this moment we are only firefighting, so clearly the directional trend is unclear yet. So we'll have to wait and watch for the 2 to 3 months before demand emerges or stability returns.
Harendra, what's the larger call going on? Have you significantly changed your call, which was there in October, to now? Are you looking at a more positive, buy-oriented report to your clients?
Actually, at this point of time, we are reviewing the situation, and clearly we are looking at, the paradigm has changed, the landscape has changed. So we're looking at options and opportunities for the new economy. So at this point of time, currently it's under review. Yes, we've identified a couple of new business areas and sectors that we should be focusing on, but that's it at this point of time.
Sandeep, a quick comment about autos as a space. One saw a very big bounce back on Friday. M&M in particular, about 25% it moved up in one single trading session. A lot of these sales numbers for the month of October have come out. So, first indication of the third quarter, the first month of the third quarter, we've got numbers. Now, numbers don't look all that bad. 10% growth for most of these companies. What's your call there?
I think the sector itself, especially the four-wheeler, has been really overbeaten, Prashant. So a technical bounce back, or you can say some kind of a short covering was due to happen. And I don't think scenario is that bleak as it is painted out by the valuations of these companies. These companies have strength. I think easing raw material price could give them some kind of a headroom, and easing interest rate could give them, you can say, more leverage on the revenue front, and that probably could be due for the markets in maybe 2-3 months down. So once you have numbers which were the most pessimistic numbers slowly inching up, and improvement on the costing front, especially because of metals and plastic and other such thing, I think that there is substantial scope for margin stability. I'm not saying margin expansion, but margin stability, and erosion of margin could be a thing of the past. So when this kind of things happen, you could see some kind of a preemptive rise in the auto stocks, and that's what you witnessed.
Harendra, to your mind, what is the key concern for corporates or the stocks that you're looking at right now? Is it liquidity? Is it the tightness in terms of rates? Because if there is softening or easing happening from the RBI's front, then in a matter of time, there'll be softening and easing happening from the bank's front, which will address the biggest cause of concern for corporates.
See, I think both these moves will, will take time to pan out. So probably 2 to 3 months before the situation, eases out. And corporates are currently adjusting to the new environment. So we don't see any strategies which is going to be, proactive on the demand side. So at this point of time, it's state of, it's still fluid. So we are not looking at big triggers coming in at least for the next 2 to 3 months.
Okay, let's actually pull up the Singapore Nifty and see how that is panning out. Just a quick check there before we go back to both Sandeep and Harendra. Nearly 5% higher on the Singapore Nifty. 3,041 is where that is trading. So it seems like the opening at least is going to be 3,000 plus sort of a level. Sandeep, the SEBI is also pitched in slightly. It's changed or tweaked the SLBM norms, the lending and borrowing mechanism. It's extended the number of days you can borrow stocks for. It's extended the window. You can actually now borrow stocks during the entire day instead of the first one. Or you think it's going to help significantly a lot of people here in India who wanted to borrow stocks and then go short? Or you think the move is just on the sidelines in the wake of SEBI discouraging foreign investors from the practice of lending and borrowing overseas?
Well, it's a difficult call to take whether it is going to be useful for the markets or improving the liquidity or maybe just reducing the noise levels in the markets at this kind of a juncture, because what happened last week, or you can say entire October, was as you know, you can say as much to do with international liquidity problems and then you can say vis-a-vis what's happening on the shorting front or people wanting to exit. So it could have been just plain brutal shorting of the market, or maybe liquidity management, or even impact cost management by most of the players seeking to exit India. We just don't know about that. But on a you can say on a hindsight, this 7 to 30 day easing which has come probably may help some of the domestic players if they really want to get, because the mindset for Indian domestic players to short the market is, you can say, is conspicuous by its absence.
All right, Sandeep Shenoy and Harendra Kumar, many thanks indeed, gentlemen, for joining us in this morning session and running us through the countdown of how you see market indicators turning. A quick break and we'll come back with more on the interest rate front, the management of Tata Steel and IOB.